Hit record. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. And then, of course, if you need to unmute yourself to stop me or ask a question, just let a girl know, and I won't care. I'll just keep going without you. And so good to see you, you sly little thing slipping in. And my girl Chelsea is on the call. It's her very first call. She's been a coach for about 4 seconds, and she's already killing it on the social media world. You need to stalk her. I'll be putting her on the team page. She's on the team page, but I haven't announced her. So when I do, Chelsea, you'll get like 800 friend requests, but don't worry, it's just your team. It's a good thing. Okay, so if you will grab your blank piece of paper and put it into 8 sections. So you can 8-section it however you want. I folded mine, of course, because I need it to be perfectly even, and I'm OCD like that, but you can draw it, you can whatever melts your butter, just so that you have 8 sections. So what we're talking about tonight whilst you're folding is a couple of weeks ago, after I got back from the leadership retreat that I got to go to in October, which was really exciting and something I worked really hard for, I did a presentation on kind of a recap about it, and a big part of it was attracting A players to your team and kind of creating a team that you want to be a part of and being a leader that you would want to follow. And so kind of being that A player is what I want to talk about today, and how you can do that by really focusing on what it is that you're doing. I think the hardest part about this business is that you overthink it. We overthink it, myself included. It's the most simple business in the universe. I've had the pleasure and the difficulty of running a big business, and I've had the pleasure of working for several different kinds of businesses, and those businesses are hard. What we do is not hard. Some of the jobs that you guys hold now are hard. What we do as coaches, not hard, but we tend to overcomplicate it and make it harder than it is, when in reality we can have such great success with such small effort. And so that's really what I want to try to capitalize, is just to like back it up. And we laugh all the time, and Raquel is the queen of telling me this. She always says, okay, let's just remember we get paid to post on social media. And I'm like, okay, I can dial it down. Touche, my friend, touche. I mean, it was really hard. I was laying in my bed this morning posting. I mean, good golly. So I really do think sometimes we overthink it, and we don't realize how blessed we are to have this opportunity. And literally every time I work out, it's because it's my job. I'm lazy. I am lazy. And it's embarrassing, but it is what it is. It's just who I am. At 30 and a half years old, I've realized that's just, I have to have it as part of my job, or it's not going to happen. So this gives me a reason to work out, because I think, I got to post on social media. I got to post in my challenge groups. If I don't work out, I'm just going to fail at my job today. And so it's just this amazing thing that pushes you forward. So in your very first box, it doesn't matter what order you go in. So whatever works well for your brain. I want you to write, I am a business owner. That's going to take up the entire box, because that is your 8th box, your first box, and that's going to be what propels the other 7 steps. So I am a business owner. This is so important for thinking of your business and your success. We don't talk about this enough, and I think we don't give ourselves enough credit. But what you're doing is running your own business. You choose how much you put into it. You choose how much you get out of it. You get to choose the customer service that you have with your clients and your team. You get to choose the type of leader that you are. You get to choose when you work, where you work, how much you put, how much of your time and money and energy you invest into your business. And ultimately, you're responsible for the outcome. Not your upline, not your downline, not your sideline. You have every tool that you need. You have it within Team VIP, which is awesome, but you also have it outside of Team VIP. Beachbody is a huge organization, and there's tons of training on your online office. There's tons of training on YouTube. So there's not one morsel of information and source that you don't have to create an outstanding business. But the first step to making an outstanding business is realizing that you're the business owner. I own my own business. You own your own business. You are the business owner. And that's so important, because I think, that helps with being more confident and being more present in what you're doing, is just owning it and saying, yes, this is mine. This is my name on it. And I'm going to treat it that way, because I want to be proud of what I'm putting out. I want to be proud of the product that I'm representing, the brand that I'm representing. And I don't know about you, but I take that super serious. Like if I'm going to put my name on it, you better believe I'm going to put 110%, because I'm not going to put myself out there unless I'm going to go all in. And I'm not going to put myself out there unless I'm going to be proud of what I'm going to do. I guarantee every challenger or every coach that I ever sign up with me, I want to be proud of what I'm offering them. I want them to feel good that they chose me as their mentor or they chose me as their coach. And that's because I'm a business owner. So that's your first box. Number 2, I want you to write hours of operation. And you don't have to put this in concrete. If you feel like you have hours of operation, I want you to go ahead and write it down. If you don't, that's okay. You can come back to it. This is important for 3 reasons. Number 1, you have to be consistent. Like I said in the beginning, this business is so simple. It makes me laugh. It's so simple. Like we have just this amazing opportunity. But if you're not consistent, you will run it into the ground faster than you can ever get it started. You have to be consistent. So whatever your hours of operation, Annie, it's hours of operation. You zoned out too quickly in the call. Good day. I'm just kidding. So you have to be consistent no matter what it is. So if that means for you that putting in 4 days a week, 30 minutes is your hours of operation because that's what it's going to take for your business to thrive, cool. But you better do it every week, because if you do it 1 week and you skip 3 weeks, your business won't succeed. If your business is to do every single day, 1 hour pockets of power hour, cool, great. What is that hour? Make sure that you write it down. For me, it's more of a weekly goal. I want to make sure that I get out X number of invites. I want to make sure that I get out X number of, new conversations, new coach conversations. So mine is more of like a checklist. I got to get it done within the week, but I do block off hours of time. And that changed for me over the course of the last 2 years, and be okay with it changing for you. If you realize something isn't working, stop, reset, do it again. For instance, my entire first year of business, I'm not kidding you, for 365 days, I got up at 5 a.m. every day. And I worked my power hour from 5 to 6 before my baby got up, before I went to my full-time job, because that was the only pocket of time I knew I had. 9 times out of 10, Raquel and I were on a Zoom call at 5 a.m. because that was the only way we knew we would get up. We knew we would sleep in if not, because I am not a morning person in the slightest. But those were my only hours of operation that I had, so I had to do that. So I did that for an entire year. The new baby has totally decided that he doesn't want to sleep and that he hates me. So now I have to work at night, because getting up in the morning is like, it's just silly. It's just silly. He goes to sleep at 4 a.m. I can't get up at 5. It's just silly. But I can work at night. So I know that my hours of operation are going to be from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, usually every day. Sometimes it's 8:30, 9:30. It may shift, but it's always at night. So that can change for you, but you have to set it. You have to be specific. The other reason it's so important, you have to set boundaries in this business. It is so easy to get overwhelmed in this business and just think, oh my gosh, it's too much. I can't do it. There's so much going on, which isn't the case. Because Ginny and I had a conversation the other day. We met and we were talking about, sometimes I feel like I've done Beachbody all day long, but I've actually done nothing. You've been talking about it. You've been scrolling through social media. You've seen all these notifications, but really, what have you done for your business? Absolutely nothing. Because it wasn't focused time. It wasn't in your hours of operation. You just had your phone on you. You felt frantic. You felt like, oh, I was shaking a baby and I was holding my phone. But why? Don't do that. If it's not your hours of operation, put your phone in the drawer and don't look at it, because there's no reason that you need to check a comment on your photos every 5 seconds. I'm the worst. You put a post up and you're like, ooh, notification. Who commented? Ooh. One more comment. Gotta look again. Like, why? Don't do that. It drives you batty. Just wait. It'll still be there in an hour. Put your phone away. And then when your phone is out, you can be super focused, super diligent, get it done, and feel such a different kind of release than feeling like you're frantic and you give up on the business because you say it's taking over your life. Don't let that happen, because it's so easy. So set boundaries, hours of operation. Box number 3. Write your mission. So this is not Beachbody's mission, which is to lead, to help people live healthy, fulfilling lives and to end the trend of obesity. Of course, it can tie in, but what is your mission? So for me, my mission is to be able to be financially free, to be able to help people run businesses of their own. I love that side of it. I love empowering people. women especially to run their own businesses, and I want to be able to be a full-time mom. So when things get crazy at school and, you know, bake sales and, a Mother's Day out party, like I want to be able to attend that and not have to feel guilty. But I also want my bank account to show that I'm rocking it at life. So that's really important to me. That's my mission. That's what I want to be able to do. So everybody's mission is different, and that's okay, but you have to know what yours is. If I asked you right now and I said, boom, what's your mission? You should be able to spit it back at me, because if you can't, when it comes to those hours of operation and you're tired, it's going to be really tough to want to keep going. Your mission should tie into your vision board. If you don't have your vision board, get it up. It really, really helps, because again, when you're tired and you're thinking, oh gosh, my power hour is tonight, but I think I'm just going to sit on the couch and watch some Netflix or watch Real Housewives or whatever, then you have to go to your vision board and you say, you know what, I am, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cross off the lake house off my vision board, or I'm going to cross off the new car off my vision board because I'm going to chill on the couch tonight. And that helps you to kind of really place priorities and be like, okay, I can bust out an hour of work. Because I don't know if you're like me, but when I do, I'm just like, I'm just going to do 5 invites, or I'm just going to do 5 minutes of work, and then I'll be done. Then I'll go and relax. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, I love my life. I love my job. Like, it just gets you so amped up. So just make sure you're tying yourself back into your mission. Number 4. Success partner. So write that nice and big. You may have one partner, you may have 2 partners, you may have no partners, but I want you to write, who is that person that's going to push you? Who is the person who's going to get up at 5 a.m. with you because you both know you won't do it alone? Who, you know, I know that. So for me, I have Laura and Raquel. We're a power trifecta. And literally we talk every day, 25,000 times a day. It's ridiculous. We're in a group chat and we just are constantly spitting stuff, whether it's positive or we got to blow off steam or we're trying a new thought for our team or we have this, we have that. We're constantly in communication, because if we were by ourselves, it's so much easier to give up. It's so much easier to be lazy. It's so much easier to say, nah, because sometimes it's hard to see that big vision on a Tuesday at 2:00 in the afternoon. So you need those people who are going to push you. Maybe you have a success partner and it's not clicking. That's okay. Release, find somebody else, because you just need somebody to be a good match. And it's okay to not be a good match. And then I also want you to write down, what do you offer as a success partner to someone else? So write that down, because that's important, because you want to be a success partner somebody else wants to have. You have to be okay calling someone out and saying, Stephanie, you need to get your meal prep done. You need to, call somebody out and say, hey, I know you haven't done your power hour. Let's get it done. Let's do it together. You have to be that person for someone to lean on, because you got to lean on them too. And I don't know about you guys, but within our power trifecta, one of us is always up at some point. Rarely are we all up at the same time, because this business has ebbs and flows. Sometimes you're feeling awesome. You just had 3 people ask you to buy a challenge pack and they bought it 2 minutes later and you're like, I am the best coach that ever happened. And then the other one of us just heard 10 no's in a row and they're like, ouch, I suck today. So you always have kind of that ebb and flow. Someone's going to pull you up when you're down and you're going to pull them up when they're down. And it's the only way to be successful in this business, guaranteed. Okay, number 5, personal development. We talk about this all the time, and you've got to make it a priority. It's so important because it makes you better. So whether or not you decide to stick out this business, whether or not you're on this call in a year, you should be doing personal development. I never did it before I started this business, and it's completely changed my mind, because it's just so good. It's so easy to get stuck in the rut of everyday life. It's so easy to get stuck in just your chaos, whether that's your job or your, relationships or your kids. It's just easy to get stuck and feel like you're going through a blur. But if you make yourself do 10 minutes of personal development every day, it opens up the fog every day. And you appreciate more, you push more, you learn more, you're better for the people around you, you're better for your team, you're better for your challengers. But you have to do it every day, not just on the days that it makes it convenient for you, because those are the days you need it the most. The days that are most chaotic and are most crazy and most stressful, that's when you need it the most. But here's what you should have. Make sure you have at least 2 things going at once. Why? Because sometimes, when you're listening to personal development or reading personal development and it's just not what you need to hear that day and you're totally checked out, you've got to have something that's going to connect with you. So for me, I usually have something that's like inspirational, whether it's Jesus Calling or there's some mom podcast that I listen to. If I need that, that's going to be my personal development for the day. If I am like in business mode, like give me the business stuff, then I'm going to listen to, my Darren Hardy. I'm going to listen to the Compound Effect, or I'm going to listen to Girl Code, or I'm going to plug into something that's really going to get my business brain charging. So just make sure it's something that you need to connect with. If not, it's just going to go in one and out the other, and you're not going to be able to really resonate. And be okay saying, okay, this is just not what I need to hear right now, and pulling out something different. National Wake-Up Call. That should be on your radar every single week, no matter when. If you listen to it live, awesome. I listen to the recording all the time, Monday afternoons, same time every Monday. I know you guys have heard that too. Listen to the old National Wake-Up Calls. It just gets your wheels turning, and it just gets you really learning more and more about this business. Team VIP. All of you that are on this call tonight are the bomb diggity. This is great personal development because we get to hang out with each other. We get to see each other's faces. We know we're not on an island, but even though some of us are. But it also helps because we have all these calls saved. So you can go to Team VIP YouTube page, look at the past calls. Sometimes you need to re-listen to some, or maybe you're coming onto the team and you haven't heard all of them. Go back and listen to them. That's a whole nother source of personal development for you. Plug into the team, National Wake-Up Call, and make sure you've got something that's really speaking to what you need to hear. Next, obligations. So write this, obligations at the top. So obligations are not don't think negative obligations, but think outside of your business obligations. So family time, church time, job time, whatever is an obligation for you, that's a commitment that you have on a daily, weekly basis that's outside of Beachbody. Because those things are important too. And you want to make sure when you're doing your hours of operation that you're setting your boundaries around those other obligations so that you're not overselling yourself. You're not overstretching yourself. So don't be unrealistic with what you can offer, because then you're going to set yourself up to fail. Honestly, you only need 30 minutes to an hour a day to be successful. That is the honest truth. But you've got to make sure it works with your schedule, with your obligations, with what works for you. If you say my power hour is going to be 8:30 at night every night, but 8:30 at night is when you put the kids to bed, or you have work events or church events, don't do that to yourself. If you know that's not realistic and not possible, make sure that your obligations and your business can match. It's just two different worlds, but they've got to collide, or it's going to stress you out and it's going to make you feel like you're not successful when you really could be. Because you've got to remember, go back to the very top. This is your business. You're the business owner. You work this in when it works for you. Okay, next. Now, this is a tough one, and this is the most important. Sacrifices. Write it at the top. So I want you to write 3 things you're willing to sacrifice in order to get your business where you want it to be in 5 years. Not 1 year, not 2 years, in 5 years. Most business startups take at least 5 years to make back the return on investment. Obviously, with this business, it's a much shorter turnaround, like 30 days. But you've got to treat it like you're building the foundations of a big business. And when you are building the foundations of a business and you're thinking 5 years, where do I want my business to be in 5 years, and what am I willing to do to get there? Most people that are starting a new business, no matter what kind of business that is, are having to put in 70 hours plus. And that's no joke. That is for real. That's a ton of time and effort that you're having to put in, because it's just, you have to build a foundation, you have to get the business off the ground, and there's so much you have to do. But you can do that by putting in an hour a day consistently with this business. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to come with some sacrifice on your end, because it will. And I think Rachel said it last week. She said it great when she said she doesn't go to outings unless she sees a potential that's going to help propel her business forward. And I was like, yes, because it's so true. Like, it has got to be darn important for me to take time away from my business and my family for me to commit to do it. Because I think, where do I want to be in 5 years? This is all about short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. And in the grand scheme of your life, 5 years is like this long, but it won't take that long to have a business that's going to flourish. By the time you get to 2 years, you may feel, boom, I'm there. 3 years, boom, I'm there. But you've got to think, I want to be here in 5 years. I will be here in 5 years. You have to have that mentality in order to have the willpower to sacrifice the things that you're willing to sacrifice. So for the 3 things that you've written down, maybe it's TV, maybe it's social, going out socially all the time, whatever it is for you, just make sure that your success partner knows what that is. What's your thing that you're going to give up that you're willing to do? Like for me, I do not relax. I just don't. I like to pretend that I should, but I just don't. And I'm not gonna. I got big dreams and big goals, and I'm going to just stop pretending that I'm going to find time to relax, because I'm not. I'm telling you, if I sit on the couch, I'm like, I should be doing something. I can't. So I'm not going to, because I've got a big vision board, and every minute that I sit idle, like watching TV, doing nothing, I just start to get the jitters, because I start to think I could be moving forward. I could be helping somebody. I could be talking to my coach or talking to my challenger. And so that's how I operate, because that's how passionate I am about my business. Now, I'm not saying that's the right route, but schedule your time in to relax, schedule time to do your thing and unplug. And I have gotten really great at unplugging, but unplugging for me is the chaos of family life. So it's still not like, but that time will come. They're going to get old, they're going to hate me, and I will just be sitting on the beach, drinking my margaritas, thinking, man, this Beachbody business is awesome. So I'm not in a hurry to get there right now. But I don't watch TV. I don't know what's going on. If I do watch TV, it's on in the background while I'm like shaking a baby or something. And so, but I'm okay with that, because in 5 years, I'm not going to remember what happened on Grey's Anatomy, but I sure will remember the lives that I've impacted through the business. And that's what I tell myself. Because sometimes you can get trapped into a vortex of TV, of nonsense, of Real Housewives. Like, if I don't see what she did at that party, I'm going to totally miss out. But I'm not going to remember that in 5 years, and she doesn't even know I exist. So I'm going to put my energy and my focus on something I can control, which is my business and my passion. And your sacrifices can be totally different than mine. Obviously, mine relate to the couch. But whatever that is for you, you have to write it down, because you have to know what it is that you're willing to give up to be somewhere better. Okay, last one. Write down share. So this is a big one for me, and I was terrible at this in the beginning, and I still kind of struggle. So number 1, there's 4 things. You need to share with your person. So whether that's your spouse or your mom or your sister, you've got to let people know what you're doing. I hid it in this cave for a while. Like, hey, I'm doing this Beachbody thing, but it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. And would not say, listen, this is when I need to work, and these are my goals, and this is what's happening. I was almost embarrassed to say, I'm creating a business. But now I'm listen, this is my business. This is important. Here's what I'm doing. And it's so much better. But you have got to know what you're doing. You have to be confident in what you're doing. You have to share that with your person, because it is not fair to keep them on the outside, and they don't know how important it is to you until you share it. If they just see you dabbling on your phone all the time, they do not see that as a business in the making unless you share it, unless you tell them what your goals are, what you're doing, what your vision is, and what your hours of operation are. Caleb in my life has gotten 1,000 times easier now that he knows this is my work time. So as soon as the kids go down, 8 o'clock, 8:30, I will see you later. I'm going into my office. And he knows that. And if the kids get up during that time, he's on it like white on rice. He knows that's when I work. And if I'm doing something else, if I'm in the kitchen, he's like, shouldn't you be working? And that's because we've communicated. I've shared that with him. He knows that this is my business and it's important to me. And we are on the same page, and it makes it so much better. And it makes you feel credible. If you hide your little secret business over here in the corner so that nobody knows or nobody can judge you, then it makes it okay for you to quit. Don't do that to yourself. Tell people what you're doing. Share your stuff on the World Wide Web. So on social media, be real on your social media. I can't say that enough. I struggle with this myself, being too surface. But I'm telling you, the more real that you can be, the better you're going to have success. So with that, you've got to be on a program all the time. you have to know what your program is and where you're at on it. It doesn't matter what program you're on. It doesn't matter what workout you're doing. You need to be on one. Just make sure that you're on one, and whatever program you're on right now, what are you doing after that program? Because this is your business. You're planning it. So it just so happens that this business is going to give you a rockin' awesome body, but first things first, it's your business. So you have to know, okay, right now I'm doing quarter force because I want to be able to talk to people about quarter force and how it's going to affect, and I want to know who it's good for, and I want to give people a taste of what it is. After that, I'm going to do 21-day fix extreme because I know people are interested in it. It's the last time that you can buy it for $140 before the beginning of January. So that's going to be my kind of marketing strategy. So that's what I'm doing. And then you have to share that authentically. Because if you just post every day, day 1, day 2, day 3, that is boring and nobody wants to watch that. People want to see your journey. They want to see, holy crap, I put on a pair of jeans today that I haven't worn in 6 months. Snap that picture. They want to see, okay, I totally skipped out on my workout yesterday, but I'm doubling up today. Here I go. Because people want to see that reality. And I know we've talked about that before, so I'm not going to dive in too deep, but you've got to be willing to share what you're doing, talking about your food and your personality and who you are, your struggles, what's going on with you, no matter where you are. If you're newly married and you're struggling with just getting life going, like, hey, here's the first time I ever put up a Christmas tree, or hey, here's whatever. Just be willing to share authentically what you're going through. Now, not negatively. I'm not saying negatively. Authentic does not mean negative. We can still go through the real stuff of life and the struggles of life by putting a positive spin on it or putting a humorous spin on it so that people can relate to you, but they don't feel like you're dragging them down. So I hope that kind of makes sense, because there's a big difference between the two, where you know the people that you follow when you feel like, man, I love seeing what they post. When they post, I cannot wait to see what they're talking about. And then there's other people who post and you're like, scrolling, I know it's going to be boring. Who do you want to be? And if you feel like you're on one side of the fence, you go to your person or your success partner and you ask them. And sometimes your spouse or significant other is a great person to ask. I never want to show Caleb my phone. I'm like, you need to see what I'm posting? Because I know he'll be brutally honest, and I'm not sure I want to hear that. But sometimes I have to be like, could you tell me what you see when you scroll through my social media? Because he's going to be brutally honest, whether I want to hear it or not. And that's what you need sometimes, because you want to remember that most of the people that are coming to you, they only know you from social media, and you have to represent your business, your brand, and you have to remember from the very beginning, you are the business owner. No one else is responsible for what you're putting out to the universe but you. So these are your 7 steps, and I want you to make sure that you go back, look at it, kind of talk about it with your person, talk about it with your success partner, and really take them seriously, because I guarantee you, if you use the 7 steps, you will feel like you have become more of an A player in your business, and you will attract more A players to your business. We always talk about attraction marketing, because what you're putting out, people are seeing, they're feeling, they're wanting to come into. And you'll start to see less and less objections if you're confident in what you're doing and you're strong about what you put out. If you feel like you're not, if you feel like, you know what, I just feel like it's not working, I'm not connecting, something's missing, it's okay to say, we need to shake things up. We need to change something. Something's not happening here. What is it? Whether maybe we shake up your personal development, maybe we switch your success partner, maybe we get you another one. Maybe you talk to your upline, talk to somebody totally different. Be okay with change. Be okay saying, you know what, these hours of operations aren't working. You know what, my mission is totally different than it was a year ago. You know what, I am a business owner, but all these other obligations are forcing me to not do what I want to do with my business. Cut one of those obligations. Sacrifice something else so that you can be better at what's important to you. And if this is important to you, you will find a way to be successful, because there's nothing that can stop you. You look at your priority list. You brush your teeth every day because it's disgusting if you don't. Work your business every day because you'll fail if you don't. Just make it that simple, and you have no choice but to be successful. Okay, we're right at 9:30. Does anybody have any questions? I hope that was helpful and not just me rambling like a banshee, because Lord knows I like to do that sometimes. I'm going to unmute it. If you want to talk, unmute. Excuse me.
Jessica, what was on the sharing? You said there was 4 steps to the sharing. What were they?
Share with your people. Share your goals. Share your journey. Share your truth.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Michael.
Jessica,
Mm-hmm.
on the obligation part, was it just obligations like outside? What was it called?
Anything, obligations, anything that's outside of your business.
So like personal, I guess.
So yeah, it can be personal, family, job, church, anything that's going to take time that's not your business.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, look, there's another baby on the call. Hi there. Don't tell Nolan. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? No?
Loved it. Thank you for the reminder that we are business owners. And I think that is so good. I think I mentioned this last time. I don't know, maybe I mentioned it in the Power Trifecta, but there was a quote and it really caught me off guard is, if this was a normal job, would you still be hired? And some days the answer would be yes. And some days when I find myself binge watching Real Housewives, I'm like, wow, I would never be able to do that in my normal full-time job. And yet I want Beachbody to pay like a full-time job. So just kind of remembering that, I think, is always helpful, depending on what your goals are. We are quiet tonight.
I know, it's ghost town. People are like, I'm sorry, what?
Okay, well, while we still have everybody on, just a reminder, we are starting our new coach boot camp tomorrow. We're doing something